The results are in from a large-scale Ochsner study on the coronavirus in Orleans and Jefferson parishes. Those results are sobering. Not only is the virus far more widespread than previously thought, but a majority of the infections and the most infectious carriers aren't showing symptoms. Investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein explains.
At the same time, positive coronavirus cases are on the rise in Orleans and Jefferson parishes. Results of a broad Ochsner study from May shows that the actual amount of infections could be 4 times that. Even more troubling, 40% of all cases among the 2,600 study participants were asymptomatic.
And when we, split up the numbers and we found the people in the later stages of the disease or who had recovered, 40% of them had never experienced symptoms. That was pretty shocking.
Equally troubling was the fact that when people were the most infectious, shortly after catching the virus themselves, they felt fine. How alarmed should we be by that number?
To me, it was really alarming. And like I said before, we reran the numbers a couple of times and it was like, could this really be real?
Ochsner research scientist Amy Feehan said the findings released today emphasize the need to double down on safety measures and may even dictate a slower pace of reopening.
It definitely does throw cold water on the whole idea of reopening. And it's frustrating. And I think we need to recognize that it's super frustrating, but that doesn't change the reality.
Feehan said the good news is that area deaths and hospitalizations haven't spiked as quickly as positive cases, but the only way to avoid those worst-case scenarios is to continue wearing masks and maintaining physical distancing. Mike Pearlstein, Eyewitness News.
We want to point out that this Ochsner study was a snapshot of the period from May 11th through 15th, and it has not been peer-reviewed or published in any medical journal yet. Those are all steps that the researchers say are underway.